here has heard of the word Milonga? Okay, some of you have. Very good.
From you.
From us, okay. A Milonga means several different things. One of them is?
The place people go and dance, Argentine tango. It's called Milonga.
That's right. And that's probably what you've heard from us. The other definition of the Milonga is sort of a faster-paced, even-paced kind of a dance, which actually preceded historically the tango. And we're actually going to just briefly describe it to you a little bit, show you a video of one of the couples that are more familiar in the tango community dancing it, and then we are going to see 3 dances from our guest couple today, with the Milonga being the last one. Okay? So what is the Milonga, other than a place to dance? The Milonga, it actually originated in a place called Rio de la Plata area of Argentina in Uruguay. Uruguay is a country which is north of Argentina in South America. And it actually came, some of its roots, some of you may have heard this, its roots came from Europe as well as very much so from the African culture. And that's why, some of you again may know this, but not many do, the tango actually comes from the African culture. Okay? Yes? Yes. It started actually in the 1800s, in the probably mid-1800s, became very popular in the 1870s. Okay? And what is the difference between a milonga and the tango that we're learning, other than the fact that the milonga preceded it? The milonga is actually, it's more improvised, okay, oftentimes. It's jerky, so there's a lot of this kind of movement, you know, it's not as smooth as the tango. There's a lot of bounce to it. It's called semi-athletic, oftentimes. People do semi-athletic contortions. Anyway, that's how it started, okay, from the African-Argentine roots that it came from. It's more dramatic, oftentimes. And there's a lot of sudden breaks in the figures of the dance, okay? It's very rhythmic, even more so than the tango in the sense that it's a very even rhythm oftentimes of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and different breakdowns of that pattern. And basically it was oftentimes danced in the lower sections of Argentine society. That's how it started. And it was much more, had much more of that tribal feeling to it. It came from that fiery, you know, culture, as I was saying, of the Afro-Argentines and the Afro-Uruguayans. So there was much more of the tribal, fiery, rhythmic. It oftentimes was done with drumming, okay? And that is where eventually the tango was born out of. The tango, of course, was it became more patterns. It was more, you could say, it started to be shaped and molded to a different level of society as well. So that is when, you know, in the early 1900s, the higher levels of the Argentine society, and of course then it went into Europe, started to get into it and accept it. They did not so much accept the milonga, especially at first, okay? But that is where it came from, and you almost have to see it to really get a feel for it. It's very infectious, you know, once you see it, you want to dance it. And it's a very, very popular dance. It's come a long way as well, and again, it has preceded what we now call the Argentine tango. What else do we want to say? Do you want to add anything? Yes.
Oh, and by the way, like beginning of the 20th century, because there was not that much women attending to nightclubs. Milonga,
a little bit out.
Yeah, Milonga used to be danced between 2 men.
That's right. That's right. No, I don't have.
No, we don't have that video. I think we showed them before.
Did everyone hear that? The milonga used to be danced between 2 men. Okay.
Because there were not that much women.
That's right.
So,
not enough women. Unlike today's the opposite. But okay. So we had our moments too, ladies. Okay. Now, one more thing, let's see. Historically, again, it came from something called the candombe, which is a drum-based musical style from Uruguay. It's that country which is north of Argentina. Okay, it was based on Bantu African drumming. And in the 3rd decade, which is the 1830s, candombe began really to become popular in Buenos Aires. And there were societies of people that were actually joining different groups and dancing this candombe. Again, this is preceding the tango. Candombe was a local fusion of various African traditions, with rhythms, wild rhythms actually, freely improvised steps. It's very energetic and semi-athletic, as I mentioned before. What else do we want to tell you? A new dance, as they say, called the Tango, was created by the African Argentines in the year of 1877. So that's when the tango was born, you could say. At least that's when it was publicized and recorded, you could say, in history as being, at that time that the tango came to us.